and welcome back beyond the streams. This is the only place where you're gonna find Next Level's beard. How are you guys doing, ladies and how did I say friendsmen, friendjamication? I don't know.
Frentelman.
How are we doing, everybody? We got some good stuff today. We got some interesting news here to share with you guys today. How are you guys? How are you doing, Next Level?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good. I'm awake now. I'm awake. I am. I'm feeling good. I had my first cup of tea. I'm good to go.
He is awake. Now, I know you are a big on the Fire Stick, the Fire Cube. You like Amazon products a lot.
I do.
Are you familiar with Downloader?
I mean, who isn't? What has it got? Like 21 million downloads or something like that?
Something insane. Now there was something that popped up that a lot of people, we had a live show on both of our channels actually a couple weeks back, and something came up where they announced Troypoint no longer a downloader.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. I remember when Troypoint bought Downloader. Do you remember when he bought Downloader? And
About a year ago,
the update came out after he bought Downloader, and the only thing that changed was what?
The name,
the logo, the name and the logo. Yeah,
it used to say AFTV, something like that, and then Troypoint.
Yeah, that's right.
That was pretty much it.
And that's not a bad thing because the program does what it's supposed to do, right?
Yeah. So now, for the people who don't know what Downloader is, it is an alternative to Chrome, Firefox. It's like a web browser, alternative web browser, and where people mainly use this on Amazon devices. They put it on there. There's a browser feature. There's a download feature that you can just put the link directly, get this, download this, and it'll automatically put it in there. And then it gives you that flexibility on your Amazon devices to be able to download stuff. So that's pretty much what it is. A lot of other devices like the NVIDIA Shield, they don't use Downloader. You can use it, but they have the Google Play Store. They have Chrome. There's like all these different avenues that you can get. For example, FileLink. FileLink is a very popular app.
Yeah.
So they normally get Downloader to get file linked.
Right.
And then it's just wide open door from there.
Right. I mean, because so many different platforms like the Amazons and the Android TVs don't typically come with a browser, or at least a browser with a downloading function. So you have to get a Downloader typically, or something that has a downloading function. It can be a file explorer, whatever it is. But the really nice thing about Downloader is that it does just what it's supposed to do. You don't get it to do anything else. You just get it to grab, so you can start your side loading, you can start your downloading, all that kind of good stuff. And it makes the side loading process really, really simple. And because I guess it's kind of sitting in that nice, sweet gray area that it's allowed to be in the app stores, right? It's not actually giving you anything that's, fishy in regards to Amazon's or Google's criteria. Then they kind of sit in this kind of funky little gray area.
Yeah. Now there's I know a lot of people were kind of freaking out when it happened, but here's an article that was coming up, and I'll show you here a tweet from Troypoint, and this again was a couple weeks ago. Download app goes home. For those that don't already know, that we have sold the Downloader app back to its original developer, AFTVNews, and it's in good hands. So I know a lot of people were like flipping on this. Is this good or bad? And going to Troypoint here, Troypoint pretty much says, dear Troypoint fans, Troypoint purchased the Downloader app from Elias at AFTV News approximately 1 year ago. Elias was the original developer of the application. Last year, he took a new job with Amazon as a product manager for the Fire TV devices. And this was at Amazon's Lab 126, which is a lot. They do a lot of like secret stuff behind the scenes. Well, I could only imagine like if Amazon said, "Hey, you want to be the product manager for Lab 126?" It's like, wait, what?
Right. I mean, if any of these big companies ever came to us and be like, "Hey, do you want to work in one of our secret divisions, but you can't do your YouTube channel anymore, it would be a really hard decision. And what Elias did, how he kind of just left for like a year or whatever it was, and he came back, I could see myself going down a very similar path, honestly, because to be involved in something behind the scenes that's so closely tied to what we're passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
it would be really hard to pass up. But at the same time, I love what I do. I would have to come back. It wouldn't be a long-term thing. You would just do it for the experience.
Definitely. And I just switched it over here to the AFTV News website. His own article says AFTV News is back, and I think this is what a lot of us this is what happens to content creators. This has happened to me already, and I came back to this. So I was doing this as YouTube. I was trying to push it. And they were doing a lot of cuts with my previous job. So I pushed YouTube and I blew up to 100,000 subscribers pretty quick. And then it was hard a few months after that, like 6 months later, because then I got this other job as a program director and operations director. And what happened was I was so busy. And I mean, I was so busy doing meetings and talking to people, and it was insane. They hired me there as a data specialist, and within 3 months, they're just like, like way more than just the data stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly, I got the job because I'm like, this is just, I'm going to kick my feet back and just, I didn't want to put too much brain power. I didn't want to manage people. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I took the job, and then my YouTube count suffered drastically. I was still pushing videos out, but I just wasn't,
Right.
And just going here to the AFTV News, he says, I'm excited to announce that AFTV News is back. For those of you who are not aware, I started this about 5 years ago from 2014 to 2019, and then got offered a job with the Fire TV team at Amazon, which he accepted. That required him to step away from AFTV News, which he spent over a year at Amazon as a product manager in Lab 126. He chose to voluntarily resign from the position to return to AFTV News and develop Fire TV apps. And it goes on here saying he's had a great time with Amazon. He really liked it. It even came to the point, or I'll read this here. When I told the Fire TV team that I wanted to resign and return to AFTV News, Fire TV's leadership graciously, generously offered to work with him in finding a balance that he could do both. But after several discussions, they both agreed that his original decision would be the best because it would just take too much time. One of the main reasons, though, because people are going to say, well, why would he step away from such a great gig? That is guaranteed paycheck. That's a guaranteed paycheck that he's getting.
Yeah, for sure.
And he says the main reason why he left was he wants the flexibility, back to working to himself. He decided he wants deciding where to focus his efforts and choosing when he wants to work. He doesn't want to clock in anywhere. And he says he loved it. He is not like he didn't like it over at Amazon, but his passion was AFTV News, and he wanted to revive it back. The good thing with this is he now has that relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some amazing contacts to have. I was just checking it out. Do you want to know some fun facts about Lab 126?
Yeah, go for it.
So Lab 126 was originally called Palm. Do you remember the Palm company, HP Palm?
Sounds so familiar. HP Palm.
Yeah. So they made the phones a long time ago. The Palm Pilots and stuff like that. You remember they had the
yeah.
So they got bought over by Amazon and they got rebranded as 126. And they were the actual department that was in charge of releasing the Kindle tablets, the original Fire digital media players, and then the original Fire Stick. They were also the ones that released the Fire Phone. Mm-hmm. And then they started working on the Amazon Echoes and stuff like that. So this is a really, really cool. I mean, I couldn't pass up I really couldn't. To be in the department working on releasing the next Echo, releasing the next Fire Stick. And I mean, he started a company called AFTV News. How could you pass that up? Because you can tell he's passionate about, the Fire Sticks and the news about it, and to be in the department that creates the news for what he's passionate about. Like,
it's pretty cool how he
his story is so heartwarming for me. Like, it brings
yeah.
tears to my eyes to read an article like this, because I mean, I would love to be in his shoes doing what he's doing right now. I would. To be honest, I would.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have that flexibility, and I think I know how that feels too. With my previous position, I was so busy, and it's the same thing. It's kind of like I stopped doing some of my live shows. Actually, I stopped doing all my live shows for, I think it was over a year, because I was just so busy. It was literally, I was at work around 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't come home until 7 p.m. And I had to go to different places. I had to go and talk to different people. And sometimes, and even if you were to take me out as that operations director, operations manager, if you take that role away from me, and I just went to do my original job as a specialist, a data specialist, data and reporting specialist, you still got to drive to work, which takes time.
It does.
Then you still got to clock in and be there a certain amount of time, which takes more time, and then drive back home. And then by the time you get home, you're tired. You don't want to do much. You just want to relax.
But to be honest, Rojas, there's pros and cons to both aspects of it. Because I mean, a lot of what we do is, I mean, you're a lot more self-employed than I am, but at the same time, we're always thinking about work. I mean, we'll message each other. I mean, for me, it's like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're talking about work. And then the first thing I do when I open my eyes, you're like, hey, it's time to wake up, and it's work. We're on our grind again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of work with you, but I also have work that I do for myself in the background as well. So when you're self-employed, you may not be doing traveling, but your mind is always traveling. It's always with work. It's always going. It's always like, what's the next step? What's the next grind? What am I going to create next? It's like we're building something, but there's always something on the side where it's like, I'm also going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do everything.
Yeah, it's a lot. It definitely, I've had to structure myself, because I think I was in your shoes where I was just like on the go all the time. I would stay up super late at night, and I'm just like, I just can't do it. I really cannot do it.
It gets to you, man.
Yeah, and
you got to be organized.
I was doing Spartan races. I was doing half marathons. I was doing so many things to keep my insanity, my sanity and my health safe. I'm already insane as it is.
Hey, I keep my insanity. You can keep your sanity. I'm happy with my insanity.
Yeah. So sometimes it's very interesting to see, like, when like my biggest thing is, when I wake up in the morning, do I feel groggy, and why do I feel groggy? And then I'm just like, it's almost that feeling when you get up and you're just like, man, I should have gone to bed just a little bit earlier, and now I regret it.
Right. But just coming back to AFTV real quick, I'm interested to see what he learned in his year in development with Lab 126. And the reason I say that is because not a lot of people know, but Downloader has plugins. So can we look forward to new plugins with Downloader, and what would they do?
Could be.
Right?
I know there's what is there's
a browser plugin.
There's the browser plugin, but even something beyond the plugins, there's been that one, and I hate to bring up the rumors. There's that one big rumor that they keep talking about. Oh, Amazon's gonna lock and key, no more third party this and that. And it's like, wait a minute. He just went back to AFTV News. He has a very good connection with them.
Yeah.
He could be adding more plugins, which more stuff could be coming out. I don't know. For me personally, I know this is now conspiracy theories here. I don't see Amazon
No,
turning off Downloader. I don't see them saying, you know what, we're done with Downloader.
no, no.
Especially if they were going to be working with him to say, hey, we could do both.
And you know what? He admits that in the article. He says they want to continue working with him. I think he said something along those lines in the article as well too. So I think it's all kinds of goodness. I am so happy to see this. Like we said in the beginning, Troypoint, he loved the application, left it the way it was, just changed the logo. Now, what's his name?
Elias.
Elias is back, and even if it's just cleaning up the code and making it run faster, right? Do you remember back in the day when you had different versions of Downloader for different devices?
Oh yeah. It's this version and this version and this.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I mean, I guess not a lot of people will remember those depending on how new you are to the streaming community. But I mean, without constant development of applications, we could still be sitting in that. You might need a different version of Downloader for the NVIDIA Shield than you do for a second gen Fire Stick. And you got to remember all this stuff. But with constant development, you can make an application be multi-platform or multi-device compatible, right? So having the developer back, it gets me excited. Even though it's such a simple application, I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah.
So
it could be very interesting what future can come out of this plugin, because that's the one thing he said that he missed creating apps, and he missed pushing the envelope and what he can do. So it's kind of like cool. Like, now that you have that freedom, what are you thinking? You know?
Yeah.
What's your thing?
I'm definitely going to be following him on Twitter and his blog. I love reading about stories like that and what's up and coming, and being a content creator. People look to us for that information as well too. Not everybody wants to follow all these different platforms and all these different places. They really just come to us because we can kind of put all the information in a nice little plate and just hand it to them, right? So, I mean, I put out a lot of information on my platforms as well in social media, a lot more than I do on YouTube. And I think a lot of people enjoy that, where instead of having to follow Real to Brit and AFTV News and everything else, they can just scroll through my timeline or my posts and they see everything there and they're good, right? But then you have the people that are really passionate about it, like us, and we'll follow everybody everywhere because we want to know the first.
Want to know the first
breaking news.
Yeah. Now, the last thing I will leave with this is just going to the very bottom end of this article. So the last article here, or the last paragraph here, says, given that I now have a lot of inside knowledge about the Fire TV and the exciting things to come, even though I know that you all want me to spill the beans, there are obviously certain things that I won't be writing about, namely leaked or unleashed information. So there's definitely stuff coming down the pipe that he's excited about. Even if unreleased or leaked information about Amazon devices surfaces somewhere else, completely unrelated to me, I still won't be discussing it here because that can be seen as adding credibility to the leak. I hope you all understand. The good news is that it won't affect the site too much, since the focus was always about helping everyone get the most of their devices, and that absolutely isn't changing. I think that's very important right there. So
it shows a level of professionalism. It really does. I mean, for myself, and for you, I know for sure we want to, break the news to everybody. But because of, even if it has nothing to do with him, if he was to share an article, he could be looked at as being linked to the information that's being leaked, and then he could end up in legal issues. So it's such a moral battle because you're so excited to find news like that and you want to share it. But if you do, you can end up in legal issues, and you'd rather have the longevity of your passion and your business versus anything else, right? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I hope all you guys have enjoyed this episode with Downloader, and make sure you guys do stay tuned to the next episode. There's going to be some good stuff coming. There's always some good stuff coming, and we try to stay ahead of the curve. As always, you guys take care of each other.
Be patient and stay humble.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Peace out.